Previously, I picked up a military Humvee to convert into a DIY camper, but unfortunately, we had a minor setback on the way home. After the breakdown last week, I ended up getting the Humvee towed to my new shop in St. Augustine, Florida. Do you know what that is?
Oh no.
That's an alternator.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the shop we're using right now. One of our friends was nice enough to rent this space to us. So yeah, this is our space for, I don't know, the next few months until we get the Hummer up and going. Before we start ripping this thing apart, let me give you a quick tour of what the Humvee currently looks like. Right off the bat, the grill right here this is actually bulletproof, which is pretty cool. This is an actual light bar that works off of an ambulance still. It still does the red and white. And then coming around the side, we have inside of the door, it's pretty cool. It's got a spot for M16 rifle. And then a lot of just like the original pieces inside. There's a lot of overhead storage that's up in here. The back, which opens up very wide. There's a pull handle here. And then you can just come right up inside. There's definitely a lot of potential here on a lot of things that we can do with this build out. This is cool. So this is actually set up as an ambulance still from the Marine Corps. But if you didn't want to have the ambulance logo out, you can hide it. Those are some of the cool little features. It's got the snorkel so it can go underwater. The first thing though, before we do any of the building out on the outside or even inside of the cab, is gonna just be getting the motor back up and running so that we can drive it around town, and then we'll jump to the inside. Today is the officially unofficial day one of the Hummer rebuild. If you guys are new here, we purchased the Hummer just about a week ago and tried to drive it back up to Jacksonville, and the water pump actually ended up going out in it on the side of the road, and the water pump was not so easy to get to, but since we've been here, we got it off. But this is the beginning of the rebuild of our overlanding monster that we're gonna make. So since we've been back, we've pretty much just spent the last few days just setting up shop, and we've really just been taking the parts off and cleaning them up, touching some of them up, repainting them, and getting everything ready to be rebuilt. Now we had to order the water pump and the thermostat and some of those pieces. So here's the old water pump just so you can see how bad it really is. That bearing is not supposed to sound like that. So some of the next steps with the engine are going to be getting it sealed up and put back together. So right now we have just the cloth over the gears, and that's going to be the back plate to the water pump, and then we have the water pump that'll sit over it, and that'll really seal up the engine, so then we can get in here and clean it. That's the next step, is we're going to get in here and pressure wash kind of this whole engine bay, get a lot of the old mold off and dirt grime, and there's like mud daubers and all this stuff up in here. So once we get that sealed off, it'll be okay to get in here and spray around and really clean up the motor, and then we can start putting it all back together properly. So the reason why we got stuck down in Palm Beach was because of this back plate on the water plate. I didn't realize, and my dad didn't realize when we were taking it apart, that the water pump has a back plate and the screws are mounted to the back of it. So in order to get the water pump off, you actually have to remove that whole plate, and we were trying to pry it and we ended up prying the plate and bending it. So we had to order a new one off of eBay, and that's what took some time. Quick question. You don't think this would have been fun to do in the Love's parking lot?
Oh, I think it would have been an absolute blast to do this there. It would have been.
We'd probably still be there.
Yeah, we would still be there.
It wasn't that bad sleeping in the car the one night.
It was great.
Why do you do this stuff with me?
Why do you do this to me?
This is a much better option.
And you know, lots of people enjoy hanging out in the Love's parking lot. We were not alone.
We're almost locals. So that's a wrap up for this afternoon. We got the water pump back on and mounted, all the gaskets in, some of the new hoses cut. So we're off to a good start. Once we get a couple of the other pieces closed up, then we're gonna get in here and really clean the engine. So we have a fresh, clean slate to work with.
It looks really good. May not work, but it looks good.
I hope it works. You guys are learning along the process with me and even my dad, because I mean, we've never done anything like this before, so this is just a learning process for us. But you know, we never sign up for anything easy, that's for sure. Now that we got the motor almost back together, we decided it'd be a good time to take the hood off.
Because now we can just work on it in here. But...
Hey, we're all learning along the way.
Welcome to the Hillbilly University.
I know. Get set, go!
Okay, now you turn, Daddy.
After getting the Humvee all clean, the next day we decided to pull it inside and finish putting the pieces back together to get the engine ready so that we can finally get it ready to drive.
What would I see? What's up?